All right, so the Tai Chi principle basically says that all movement follows the center, and the center is like a ball that rotates. It can rotate in the horizontal direction and the vertical direction, or you can combine it and have movement in any direction. Tai Chi classics also say that movement comes up from the ground, comes through the legs, gets steered through the waist, up through the back, and is manifested through the hands, right? So that's the chi. So as we begin these movements, think about those key principles, right? So here I'm just breathing in and out, just doing an expansion and compression movement. But my intention is to be conscious that movement comes from my center and movement comes up from the ground. Energy comes up through the waist, through the back, and it's manifested in my hands, right? So I've got some degree of intention that's also in my hands, right? So I can breathe in and out, or I can switch it. Here I'm going to exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, expand away from the center, inhale, draw in to the center, exhale away, inhale, draw in. All right, so stand quietly for a moment. Focus the attention for a moment on your center, 2 inches below the navel. Go in a few inches so you're at your center of gravity. And then bring the attention to the fingers and feel that you could stretch your fingers just a little bit longer so you feel like you're opening the joints between your fingers. And then your wrists get a little more open, your elbows and your shoulders. And then you open up your upper back, your middle and lower back. And then you open the hips, the knees, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. Right? So we talk about opening the joints in Tai Chi, right? Because if the joints are open, the Chi can flow. Right? If you're tense, if you clench your hands, you'll feel that the Chi is obstructed. Okay, so we're just going to loosen the shoulders. As you rotate the shoulders, feel the movement in the chest, collarbones, shoulder blades. Change direction. You can initiate the movement through the spine, right, or through the pelvis. Right? It doesn't always have to come from the shoulders. Go into a larger movement and drop your center. Good. Switch. Good. And then go into a alternating rotation. Breathing into your center, into the lower abdomen. Of course, if you have any limitations in your movement, or your balance, then you need to modify. If you're following any kind of exercise video, right, including this one, go side to side. Feel the stretch in the inner thigh. Lift up the toes. Feel a little more in the hamstring. Going into a spinal twist, it's going to start from the ground, right? So I feel my legs, there's a little bit of a shift in the weight. There's rotation in the hips, and then it comes through the spine and the ribs. Right? Not being aggressive. It's okay to feel some stretch, but don't go all the way. Right? Because we're not looking to create strain. Breathe in. Open the chest and exhale. Scoop up some energy like you're scooping up water. Good, some basic wrist stretches I like to do. Comes from aikido. All right, that's one. Connect the movement to the center, right? Just think of the force traveling through the joints, right? So it goes through the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, through the back, into the center, into the ground. All right, you take your hand like so, thumb between the pinky and ring finger, and then grab onto the meat of your thumb and just pull down. Get a gentle stretch there. Right, so these stretches from aikido are basically the wrist locks that we would do if we were trying to subdue an opponent. Aikido is practiced in a way where we don't use extreme wrist locks so that we can keep practicing, right? We're not looking to harm the opponent when we do aikido. You'll see similar wrist locks in other styles of martial arts, but a lot of times they can cause damage pretty readily. Turn the thumb down and then open hand. The web comes on top between the pinky and the wrist, and then take hold of the thumb and start to lift it. Right, so fingers point up. Right, so here as I'm stretching, I'm sinking my elbow and relaxing my shoulders. Right, so sink the elbows, relax the shoulders. Right, so this one, pushing away. Nice stretches to do if you have something like carpal tunnel syndrome, or if you've got a tennis elbow case, you could do a little bit of this sort of stretch before you start playing, just to warm up the hands and the wrists. Right, so here I'm going to kind of lengthen through my fingers, open my joints, and then apply a little bit of stretch to it. You don't have to do a million of these things. You know, I think 3 to 6 repetitions is sufficient in most cases, right? Because think of it as you're training your nervous system, right? We're not trying to completely rewire all of our muscles and all that stuff, right? So just warming up. Just shake out that tension. All right, so then I do a little bit of tapping, right? And as I'm tapping, I'm directing my attention into the bone, right? So I'm thinking of going through the dense bone and into the bone marrow. So it's like you're sending a vibration in there. So your hands relax, right? So don't be tense as you slap, right? You can spend some time tapping on your center. Right, if we're practicing Qigong, you might be thinking of meridians as you're doing some of this tapping. You've got the meridians that run, these channels that run through the body vertically, as well as a horizontal channel. Right, this kind of lower back kidney area is an important region in Tai Chi, Chinese medicine. It's called the Mingmen. Right, so we kind of want it to be able to open up. It's a good area to try to practice breathing into, so you get some expansion sideways and backwards instead of just forwards or just up. Okay, we're just going to finish with a little bit of the tree posture. Right, and let your mind be quiet. Your chin is drawn slightly back. Your tongue rests on your upper palate. Teeth gently touching, not clenched. Feel that the head floats upward and the rest of your body sinks down. And feel the feet. Imagine your feet are digging roots into the ground, and the roots also spread in a circumference like a tree. Right? Any tension that you feel in your shoulders, you could shrug your shoulders and then let it go. Right? If we're doing an exercise to sink the chi, you could sense tension starting with your head and work your way down. Right? So face, scalp, right? You sense tension and then you let it sink a little lower, and you just work your way through the body parts until you sink that tension, sink that chi all the way down into the ground. And then you feel like you're pretty rooted after that. Bring your arms in front. Collect the chi. Bring it into your center. Do some slow, gentle circles. Notice what you notice. We'll do 3 circles and then change the direction. Right. I'm just doing the small circles for now, but you could also do larger circles where you kind of come under the rib cage, and that kind of stimulates the diaphragm and the digestive organs. All right, we'll finish in the Wuji posture. Right, so your arms are just relaxed at your side. Your armpits are open. Right, your energy is sinking into the ground, and you can feel the support of the ground pushing up through you. Right, so that's a good place to stop.